Um, and trying to look where she's added illustrations. So, and the reason this is important to me is because from mostly the two of you, you went from having limited lean instruction to kind of immersion training, and you follow the steps, and you're picking out where a picture is really needed to help. So I've actually posted a lot of this online. So I just posted it yesterday because people have been asking me about it. So I've got yours, and then, so these are exactly opposite functional types of companies. So you do thousands of pieces a day of something, high volume. This one makes the steel beams for buildings. And so like the first floor may have a lot of the columns exactly alike, but a lot of them are not alike. You go to the second floor, well, they're a different gauge, different. I mean, so every building is different. So this company makes steel buildings. And so it's called a job shop because every piece is almost different. The other thing is it's big. The average beam weighs, the lighter weight ones are around a ton. And the short ones are 6 meters on average. 10, 15, 20 meters is not uncommon. 2 tons, 3 tons. So you can imagine working with something that you have to put parts, weld parts on all over that's 2 and 3 tons and 10 meters long. I mean, how do you move it around? Mm-hmm. And one area does some cutting and another area does, I mean, they have some automatic welding machines. They have a lot of manual welding. Then you have to do the grinding operation and finishing. Then they take it in and paint it. Mm-hmm. And so
yes,
it's a very complex. It's not like you can, and the routings for this beam goes to this machine, that machine, and that machine. Another one goes to this one, and it goes around. I mean, so the routings are never the same. So you can't have a flow line. So they can still do lean. They're still using the matrix of these steps, but it's a totally different system. Anyway, I've tried to compress several hundred pages of lean materials into just a few points. And this is their board that we're using for them to do their projects on. But this is what, I've done the list of activities, weigh and decide, step by step, boom, boom, boom. And there's and I put the links into the forums, and very first thing is I get a letter back. Can you put in some more illustrations or pictures? So.
Yes, we will complete it day by day.
Well, and this is where I need you to look at this as well and say, okay, that works pretty good. What else do I need to do? Where else am I missing? Do I need to do another illustration in this piece? So I'm trying to make this where I want this to be easy enough that any of our Rangdong suppliers can do it and make progress without us having to go there. So, read it and analyze. So on the design experiment, should I put a picture about I mean, this is all very short summaries, but maybe not enough. So tell me when I'm missing something.
Yeah, we.
So tell me. So, okay. And so, like, I've got other pieces like setup productions. There's kind of 4 stages, what you do and how you do. I can go into a little bit more about defining inside and outside task. There's kind of a sequence about changeovers, how you progressively make it easier and simpler. I'm trying to avoid making it too much like one of these big books. I'm trying to make it condensed enough. It's like, maybe you don't have it here, but in the U.S. we have what used to be called Cliff Notes.
Yes.
So Cliff Notes was like a little notebook, 20 pages. So when you go to literature class and you're supposed to read some big 300-page novel, it's like, oh, it's just like, you go read this 20-page novel. And there's 20-page Cliff Notes, and Cliff Notes gives you, here's all the characters, here's what they did, here's the big, so it just summarized everything.
Yes.
So I'm trying to make this basically Cliff Notes for 1,000 or 10,000 pages of Lean books.
It's bored.
Well, it's just, you can read it, but how do you connect it to your work? So if you can look at this one as well and tell me where there's holes in it. So I've got a little thing on automation. I've got a little piece on automation. And then I've got a little bit about choosing what to work on first. So that's what I'm trying to work on right now. I'm trying to add where I've got holes and things and what's useful. So I was going to see is this useful for you to understand that you're trying to get multiple people's way of doing things into a single kind of a picture's worth 1,000 words. So this one to me tells, the way I drew it is I'm trying to say I take multiple ways of doing things and trying to condense it down to one best way. Does it read like that? Or does that picture convey that kind of sequence? Okay, and that's what I mean. What impacts you and the other students is, you're the new people learning it. Everybody else is in the same boat you are. What made a difference to you to make it easier to understand? So you pick out things that made that understanding that concept easier. This made applying it easier. That's the biggest problem right now is too many people can read it, and then you go back to the factory and you don't know how to apply it. I don't have it in that one.
Yes. Use for car, pocket car is bad choice.
Huh?
Summarize the set
pocket
of
cards?
pocket cards.
Doesn't really help.
No, I think it's very.
It's just too complex.
I think it's useful. It's summarize. It's have a.
You like them, or it doesn't help you?
No, I like it.
You like it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So does this diagram help you? Because I've color-coded this to the pocket cards. So if you know your sequence, if you start here listing the activities, you go to fact-finding, then you decide if it's a people, do we have a standard? No. Do I need to improve the process? So if I improve the process, then I have to come back around and improve this as well. And then there's a follow-up piece. I don't know if this picture is worth, adding in. Because we've got the cards color-coded. But you probably won't see that when you read the green card. No. So that's actually in some of the training where you list the activities. So it's a level that's not on the card. All right.
But I think what impressed me most is the example, the real example. So.
Where I can show how they fix things or how they.
Do you remember the situation about the different lengths of the wire?
Oh, okay. Well, I
Yes.
took you back and showed you. Yeah.
I remember. I do remember it. So
Yeah.
when I do everything, I will look at look back and remember it and apply KY or something.
Okay.
So I think
Okay, so if I were to make like a little separate document that they could go read about 5 whys, I could show, the sorter has to adjust and realign these wires. Well, why do they have to realign them? Well, you go back and you look on the circuit board. Oh, they're the same length. Why are they the same length when they put them together? Oh, well, it's the routing. Oh. Well, okay. So I actually need to show. All right. So if I were to do something like that.
Because I think we will remember it when we have experience myself.
Yeah. So you actually go see step by step, kind of. Okay. So to best